Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Brown Girl Green here at TED Countdown. And today we have a special guest, Vice President Al Gore. I'm so happy to have you here on Brown Girl Green today.
Well, thank you, Christy. It's a pleasure to be with you.
So, we don't have a lot of time today, so I'm just going to hop right into it. For me and other young people, we find it very difficult for politicians to listen to us. And so I wanted to know, in your opinion, what are some things that you feel young people could be doing more of to really hold politicians accountable and to pressure them to take action on the climate crisis?
Well, first of all, you know the old saying that there's strength in numbers. So getting more and more to join you. And secondly, Mahatma Gandhi once said that truth force is the most powerful force for change in the world. And you have truth on your side. All of the great social movements in history ultimately came down to a bedrock choice between what's right and what's wrong. Once you clear away the underbrush of argumentation and get to that central choice, then the outcome becomes foreordained. And young people have the future on your side, and you have the moral authority to say we deserve a just, clean, and prosperous future.
That's fantastic. And building off of that, I know that you know that a lot of young people walked out yesterday because of Shell and recognizing that we don't want the fossil fuel industry to have a grip on our society, our politics, and industries around the world. And so I wanted to know, at a time when the fossil fuel industry, I believe, needs to die out, but yet the U.S. government in a lot of ways is still subsidizing the fossil fuel industry, what do you think can be done to actually reduce and get rid of fossil fuel subsidies?
Yeah, well, subsidies for fossil fuels are in place in countries around the world. Actually, even more in the rest of the world than in the United States, where it's bad enough. And we do need to, the first step is to get rid of those subsidies. And we need to move faster to phase out the use of fossil fuels. It's the principal source of the global warming pollution. And the good news is the clean alternative forms of energy are now cheaper than using fossil fuels, and you don't have the pollution that kills so many millions of people around the world. So when it gets cheaper still, and people realize it's better in every way, I think the momentum is with us.
Yeah, totally. And I think when it comes to talking about placing pressure and really encouraging people, it's about raising awareness on the education. And that brings me to talking about the Climate Reality Project, which is your initiative. And I really want to talk about the importance of environmental justice within that, because I know even with the Climate Reality Project being a climate media and education front, it can lack diversity and inclusion of more voices of Black, Indigenous, and people of color. So I wanted to ask, how do you think that we can work to make this movement more diverse and center around environmental justice?
Well, we have taken steps for many years now to place environmental justice at the center of all of our activities. Jemiah Adams, our senior VP for environmental justice, is helping to lead that charge. We have seen the board of Climate Reality. Professor Robert Bullard is the father of environmental justice. Fred Davey is one of the religious leaders leading the charge for environmental justice. Catherine Flowers, one of the most prominent environmental justice leaders. Donnell Baird, a young Black entrepreneur who is installing renewable energy in inner cities all across the United States. We take our inspiration and leadership from our colleagues who are diverse and who are passionate about moving forward more quickly.
That is so important to hear, especially in your, knowledge and wisdom in this space. And my last question is regarding my own journey. I created this platform, Brown Girl Green, for the same reasons as what you were just mentioning. I didn't see other people in the climate movement who looked like me. And I feel when it comes to climate education and climate media, we need more people like myself doing this work. And, my ultimate dream and goal right now is to have my own show. I want to have a show that teaches people about climate science in an entertaining way while also infusing environmental justice and diversity and inclusion. And so, as someone with big dreams, talking to someone else with big dreams, I just want to ask, what is your advice for the next step I should take to make that dream a reality?
Well, I think you've made impressive progress on your journey, and I bet you do reach your goal. And people around the world are coming to understand clearly that communities of color have been disproportionately hurt first and worst by the impacts of the climate crisis, and they have had less access to the resources necessary to be resilient and to move forward. And I think that as the broader climate movement comes to understand that more clearly, the entire climate movement has greater moral authority. And the energy and creativity and initiative and leadership coming from communities of color has really transformed the climate movement, given it new momentum and a much bigger chance for success.
Thank you so much. And do you have any last words for all the young people, or just even anyone in my audience, any calls to action while I still have you here?
Keep it up, and all of us need to do more. But young people, and particularly young people in communities of color, can provide the crucial leadership necessary to save our future.
Thank you so much, Vice President Al Gore. I really appreciate it. This has been another edition of Brown Girl Green here at TED Countdown. Catch you on the next segment.